Are you ready for some very good food? If you live in Singapore, you'll know that Tiong Bahru Market is full of blockbuster hawker stalls selling really good food, but Tau Huay or soybean pudding is one of my favorites. And here they have a stall called Tixing that makes beautiful, soft, custardy, nutty Tau Huay, and look how it wobbles. Oh my god, it looks so good! I'm gonna try! It's so soft! Oh my gosh! And it has that really nice, kind of slightly roasted, nutty soy flavor. The syrup is not overpowering. Everything just comes together. This is so comforting. I feel like I want to make a bed out of this, just sleep in it. Obviously, this is a classic, and you might be thinking, don't mess with it. Yes, I love this. I'm gonna finish this bowl, trust me. But I've also taken away 2 portions, and I've asked for no syrup. And I think that this amazing, soft, silky, smooth soybean pudding is gonna make the perfect base for a savory dish. One of my favorite tofu dishes of all time is a real classic Mapo Tofu, which kind of unflatteringly means pock-marked auntie's tofu, because apparently the lady who invented it in China had a lot of pock marks on her face, but she made some awesome tofu. And I love the contrast of that kind of spice sauce with the meat on really silky tofu. So what better way to make this than with my beautiful Tau Huay from Tixing at Tiong Bahru Market. First of all, I gotta get on with this sauce. And because this is a real kind of Chinese dish, I'm gonna use some Sichuan pepper, and that's this little thing. They look like tiny little berries, and although they're called pepper, they're not spicy. What they do is they kind of numb your tongue and your mouth, and it's really a sensation that no other ingredient can produce. So I'm just gonna pound these in the pestle and mortar. And while you're pounding, you can kind of get that sort of nose-tickling feeling that's coming out from the dust. I don't like to pound the Sichuan pepper too finely because I like having those little bits that you bite down on, and then you have that nice tingly, numbing feeling. This is about 1 tablespoon that I've ground up. I'm gonna set aside a little bit of the Sichuan pepper for garnishing the whole dish later on. I want my pan on a medium to high heat, probably a high heat, and I'm gonna drop in a good glug of oil. I love peanut oil when I'm cooking Chinese food. I'm using minced beef because I love how beef has a really strong flavor. It stands up to all the other strong flavors in this sauce. But the traditional thing is minced pork. You can use minced chicken. You can even make it vegetarian and just leave out the meat. Throw that in, and you just want to fry the minced beef, making sure you're separating it. And you want most of it to be cooked through. Now I'll add my aromatics. I've got some chopped ginger, chopped garlic, and chopped spring onions. Just stir this all together. It's smelling good. Now here's the part where it's gonna make your nose tickle a little bit. I'm gonna throw in some dried chili flakes for spice. You can use more or less depending on how spicy you want it. Now the Sichuan pepper, which we ground up. This ingredient is fermented black bean. They come in whole beans. They're really hard, they're salty, super savory. Just give them a good chop and then throw them into the pot. Next, for most of the flavoring, I'm using doubanjiang, which is basically a fermented bean sauce, but it is spicy. So doubanjiang is the normal one, doubanjiang is spicy bean sauce. 3 tablespoons of this. Just give this all a stir. It's gonna turn into this nice, shiny, sticky glaze. Let this go for 30 seconds to a minute. Just make sure all the flavors are nicely incorporated. They're making friends in the pan. Now for the liquid, I'm using beef stock, 250 milliliters. You can use chicken stock, or if you want to keep this really pure and clean, you can use water. light soy sauce for flavor, and some sugar as well for a little bit of sweetness, just to round everything off. Now I'm just gonna let this simmer for 3 to 5 minutes. You can let it go a bit longer, but you might have to add a bit of liquid. And it's gonna have this really nice dark red brown sheen with the flecks of spring onion and garlic and ginger, and it's smelling so good, even though it does definitely make the nose run a little. While the sauce is simmering, I'm going to get the tofu ready. I asked for it without syrup, obviously. We don't want to end up with a weird meaty dessert. Just open it up, and I'm just going to drain off some of the liquid. I'm just going to take the serving bowl and flip it over. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. If your Tau Huay is cold from the fridge, you want to put it in the microwave at a really gentle power just to warm it through, or you can steam it as well. Mine is still nice and warm from the market, so I'm just going to finish off the sauce. It's simmering away. Now I just need to bring it to a boil and stir in some cornstarch that I've dissolved in water. With cornstarch, you have to bring it to a boil for it to thicken, and then you'll see it become glossy, thick, beautiful. Now I'm just gonna tip this over the Tau Huay in the serving bowl. For garnish, this extra Sichuan peppercorn from just now. Some fresh coriander just to bring everything together, lighten it up. I've also made a little pickle. It was really quick. I just have some sliced baby radishes, and I sat them in a mixture of rice wine vinegar, sugar, and warm water for just like 15 to 20 minutes. And they're really nice, slightly tart, beautiful. So I'm just gonna lay these over. And the last final crowning glory is a swig of sesame oil. Ooh, that tofu is so soft. A big spoon for a big appetite.